I thought, they had a terrible, terrible row after Meghan had gone to abroad to talk about never do this with your children, put them in front of the television. They had a massive, massive row. And I think this is Harry trying to make her feel better. That's my view about it. And she would be very pleased, but she'll do this absolutely hideous thing of using an AI thing to have somebody look rather strange, because the face is very strange. It's not right. You can see it's not a natural strain.
Something feels different lately, and it shows in the headlines, in the tougher questions being asked, and in the noticeable silence that seems to follow whenever more challenging topics come up around Meghan Markle and her public image. The carefully crafted story surrounding her daughter Lilibet, the privacy, the limited appearances, the polished snapshots of California family life, has become the subject of growing public discussion. And the person drawing attention right now is not a tabloid reporter, not a palace source, and not one of the Sussexes' longtime critics looking for a score to settle. It's Angela Levin, Prince Harry's authorized biographer, a woman who spent months speaking with him, learning his perspective, and building a level of access that very few people ever received.
There's a huge hypocrisy here given Catherine, Catherine suffering from cancer was hauled over the coals, especially in the American mainstream media. Yet Meghan sort of posts these pictures which all appear to be artificially altered. The actual pictures of the children, which are always so weird. And I mean, the thing is, this could be a total coincidence. Of course it could be. But my point is that it is Meghan who is encouraging this speculation about the identity of her own daughter. That's what I find creepy.
Now, her recent comments about Meghan, the family's public presentation, the photographs, the AI-related speculation, and even the reduced visibility of Archie in media coverage have sparked fresh debate. Because of her background with Harry, many people see her observations differently from standard royal commentary. What makes this stand out is that Levin is speaking from personal experience and years of following the story closely, not simply reacting to rumors flying around online. Whether people agree with her or not, her remarks are cutting through the carefully managed narrative that has surrounded the Sussex brand for years, and that's why so many royal watchers are paying close attention right now. The timing of all this is impossible to ignore. This story didn't emerge during a slow news period. It arrived at a moment when the Sussex brand is facing growing scrutiny, when Prince Harry's public comments about children and social media are being compared against his own actions, and when Angela Levin appears more willing than ever to speak openly about what she believes is happening behind the scenes. According to Levin, the situation looks far more complicated than the version the public has often been presented with. That's one reason this latest chapter feels different from the usual wave of Sussex headlines. Several issues are drawing attention at the same time. Questions surrounding public photographs continue to circulate. Discussions about the Sussex brand's direction are growing louder. Levin's comments have become noticeably more direct. And Harry's stance on privacy and online exposure is now being debated by critics and supporters alike.
Actually, if she were just to post normal pictures like a normal woman, then everyone would be able to speak and talk about Lily normally, rather than this sort of internet hunt to find the real Lily, which actually is really horrible.
What makes the story even more striking is how these developments seem to overlap and intensify one another. Instead of remaining isolated controversies, they are becoming part of a larger conversation that is increasingly difficult to ignore. For years, Meghan Markle has been widely viewed as someone skilled at shaping public narratives, but critics argue that the current wave of questions is proving harder to manage than previous challenges. Today, we're looking beyond promotional messaging, social media posts, and polished interviews to examine the claims, reactions, and perspectives coming from people closely connected to this ongoing royal story, especially Angela Levin, whose recent comments have captured plenty of attention. It carries the weight of someone who seems genuinely disappointed by how events have unfolded. And that brings us to the birthday photographs, because that's where this latest controversy really starts to pick up speed. Lilibet recently celebrated her 5th birthday, and Meghan marked the occasion in a familiar way. A polished social media post featuring warm family images, soft California sunshine, and a carefully presented glimpse into private life. The message was clear, a peaceful family moment shared with the public. But instead of universal praise, the photos quickly sparked discussion online. People examined every detail, and that's hardly surprising. Sussex-related content often attracts intense attention, with supporters and critics alike.
The problem you've got here in a relationship with Meghan and Harry is this is a boy that was pretty much traumatised by media presence when he was little. He didn't really want any of this publicity. He was always attacking photographers. She's someone, ever since she was on the red carpet, who's craved publicity.
Studying each new image frame by frame. As a result, questions began spreading across social media about certain visual details in the photographs, with some users claiming elements looked unusual or overly polished. One of the biggest talking points involved the way Lilibet's face remained largely obscured, something that has been consistent with the family's approach to privacy for years. Online commentators pointed to what they believed were odd proportions, unusually smooth textures, or editing effects. However, these claims remain speculative, and no public evidence has conclusively verified the accusations being made about the images. The debate grew louder when writer Paula Froelich compared the photos with images connected to a California children's clothing brand called Little Olives, which launched around the same period Meghan was developing her As Ever lifestyle brand. Froelich argued that certain similarities stood out and deserved closer examination, a claim that quickly gained traction among critics and royal watchers. Froelich also reported that she used Google's Gemini AI to compare promotional text connected to the two brands. According to her analysis, the wording appeared highly similar in structure and presentation, leading to fresh questions online about creative overlap and branding choices.
She has kept on and on and on and on. She has made him hate his family. She's made him that he's got bad mental health. And actually, you can do that. You can have a person in your life who tries to drown you and make everything awful. And she hasn't tried to make him better.
Those observations have fueled even more debate, turning what began as a birthday post into a much larger conversation. The comparison reportedly suggested a very similar framework, with much of the structure appearing alike while specific details were adjusted to fit different branding goals. Supporters and critics immediately seized on those findings, and the discussion spread far beyond the usual royal watcher circles. What made the situation even more notable was that the analysis came from an AI tool, rather than from a commentator offering a personal opinion or taking a side in the debate. There's also a sharp contrast between the intended purpose of the birthday post and the reaction it received. A 5th birthday celebration would normally be seen as a simple family milestone, a parent sharing a meaningful moment and marking an important occasion. Instead, the conversation quickly shifted toward questions about image editing, AI technology, branding strategies, and online presentation. That unexpected shift helped turn what might have been a routine social media post into a much larger public discussion. Could some of the similarities and concerns be coincidental? Many people would argue that's possible. Lifestyle brands often share common marketing styles, visual themes, and promotional language, especially when targeting similar audiences.
Look at his face, and he can't do it because he still loves her, or, whatever his reason is. He doesn't want to say, whoops, I made a big mistake. You see, all those are not smiling, and she can manipulate him. And I feel that that's what she's done.
However, Critics maintain that the growing list of questions deserves closer attention and explanation. One point frequently raised by online commentators is Meghan's use of modern digital tools and carefully curated imagery in past promotional content. Combined with the long-standing decision to keep Lilibet largely out of public view, that has created an environment where almost every new photograph attracts intense scrutiny. Whether fair or unfair, the mystery surrounding the family's private images has encouraged speculation, and those questions continue to follow each new release. Critics argue that one of the biggest reasons these debates continue is because so much curiosity has been created around Lilibet's public image in the first place. Over the years, the family has chosen to share only limited views of their children, and that decision has led to endless discussion, theories, and speculation whenever a new photograph appears online. Angela Levin has been especially vocal on this point. Her argument is straightforward, but has attracted significant attention. She suggests that if more ordinary family photographs had been shared from the beginning, many of the current controversies might never have gained momentum. In her view, there would be far fewer debates about image editing, AI claims, or online investigations.
Him, does she? Because he's not going to make her the money.
And he's not in it. I mean, what does he feel? He's 7. Well, there it is now, but that's an old photo. But, to say that to a 7-year-old, push him out because she doesn't feel the same about him as she does about Lilith for gaining money. It's just horrible, isn't it? Really horrible.
Into every new picture released to the public. According to Levin, the mystery surrounding Lilibet did not develop on its own. She believes it grew out of years of carefully managed public appearances and limited visibility. That perspective has resonated with some royal commentators, while others argue that parents have every right to protect their children's privacy, especially under intense public scrutiny. What is undeniable is that the discussion has become much bigger than a single birthday photograph. Every new image now seems to generate fresh questions, detailed analysis, and widespread online debate. Critics claim this outcome was predictable, given the family's highly controlled approach to sharing personal moments, while supporters maintain that privacy decisions should not automatically invite suspicion. Either way, the conversation surrounding the Sussex family's public image continues to intensify. One of the biggest points of debate in this story is the contrast critics see between the privacy strategy and the public attention it often generates. Meghan has consistently said that decisions involving her children are rooted in protecting their privacy and well-being. That message has been a central part of her public image since the early days of her relationship with Prince Harry. For many people, the idea of parents protecting their children is easy to understand and support.
I said, he's in a rush to make his mark and seems to treat life as a race too. He explained to me, I want to make something of my life. I now feel there is just a smallish window when people are interested in me before Prince George take over, and I've got to make the most of it. Now then, tell me, that happened 10 years ago, right? Now, if he can't think of a way to do something better over 10 years, I've got no sympathy for him.
It's a position that naturally resonates with the public. When privacy is presented as the main goal, choices such as limiting photographs, restricting access, or avoiding public appearances can be viewed as responsible parenting rather than publicity decisions. For years, that explanation largely shaped the conversation surrounding the Sussex family's approach. Now, however, Angela Levin is challenging that narrative more directly than before. Rather than relying on dramatic accusations, she focuses on specific events, timelines, and observations that she believes raise important questions. That approach has helped her comments stand out from the usual stream of royal commentary and media speculation. Levin's perspective also carries weight for some observers because of her past access to Prince Harry and her long history covering royal affairs. She often compares Harry's earlier public image with his current role and public messaging, and she argues that the differences are significant. Whether people agree with her conclusions or not, her detailed criticism is drawing growing attention and adding fresh pressure to an already heated debate. Angela Levin's perspective carries attention because of her long history covering Prince Harry and the access she had to him before many of the major changes in his public life. She spent significant time observing his work, listening to his views, and documenting the goals he spoke about during that period. Because of that background, her comments are often viewed as coming from someone who has followed his journey closely, rather than from a distant observer. Levin has repeatedly suggested that she sees a major difference between the Harry she came to know years ago and the Harry who appears in public today. In her view, he once projected a strong sense of purpose, optimism, and commitment to making a positive impact through his position. She has spoken about these changes with a tone that many observers interpret as disappointment, arguing that his priorities and public image have shifted dramatically over time. As Levin put it, if she were just to post normal pictures like a normal woman.
You can't actually tell somebody this, to write a biography. In 2017, that's when I wrote that, and you're still getting nowhere by 2026. Wouldn't you be ashamed of yourself not saying that with like a long moan? I was furious reading it.
Then everyone would be able to speak and talk about Lily normally, rather than this sort of internet hunt to find the real Lily, which actually is really horrible. That quote has become one of the most discussed parts of her recent comments because it captures her broader criticism of how the situation has developed. The debate becomes even more intense when questions turn to Prince Harry's role in approving public family content. According to reports cited by royal correspondent Rob Shooter, Harry supported the release of the photographs. Critics argue that this creates a contrast with his past statements about children, privacy, and social media exposure, adding another layer to an already controversial discussion. Critics point to what they see as a contrast between Prince Harry's past comments about protecting children from excessive public exposure and his current support for selected family photographs being shared publicly. To them, the difference is difficult to ignore. Supporters, however, argue that there is an important distinction between unwanted media attention and parents choosing to release carefully controlled family images on their own terms. There is also a more charitable interpretation of this evolution. People's views can change over time, especially after becoming parents. Life circumstances shift, priorities develop, and what once seemed like a firm position may become more flexible as families navigate complex decisions about privacy, security, and public life. Many observers believe that possibility should be considered before drawing firm conclusions. Angela Levin, however, has expressed skepticism about that explanation. Based on her observations over the years, she argues that many of the major shifts in Harry's public positions have followed a familiar pattern. In her view, disagreements are often followed by discussions that eventually lead to a unified stance. Whether that assessment is fair remains a matter of debate, but it is a point Levin has raised repeatedly in interviews and commentary.
No one can take Meghan into the palace, absolutely not, no chance. And he would never ever upset her. 100 times. You see them when they were away in Australia, they look at each other very nicely, they have whispers, they make each other laugh. They're incredibly easy together.
Levin has also suggested that Harry once appeared uncomfortable with the tension between advocating for children's privacy and participating in public-facing projects that feature family life as part of a broader brand image. She believes those concerns gradually faded over time. More broadly, she argues that Harry has undergone significant changes in multiple areas of his life, including his public role, personal relationships, charitable focus, and overall identity. Supporters may see those developments as natural growth, while critics view them as evidence of a dramatic transformation that continues to fuel discussion today. Critics often ask what Prince Harry has gained from the major changes in his life over the past several years. That question has become even louder as reports continue to circulate about challenges facing the Sussex brand and ongoing speculation about the couple's future plans. While many of these claims remain unconfirmed, they have fueled constant discussion among royal commentators and media observers alike. To some critics, the image that emerges is of a man still searching for his place after walking away from the royal system he once knew so well. They argue that Harry has made significant sacrifices, reshaped important relationships, and publicly criticized people who were once central figures in his life. Because of that, they believe returning to old paths would come with considerable personal and public complications. California was often presented as a fresh start, a place where Harry and Meghan could build a new life on their own terms. Supporters say they have done exactly that, creating independence and pursuing projects they care about. Critics, however, argue that the results have not matched the expectations that were set during their departure from royal duties. Angela Levin frequently frames the situation through the lens of comparison. She remembers the Harry she observed years ago and often contrasts that version with the public figure seen today. In her view, the differences are significant, and those changes remain at the center of her ongoing criticism and commentary. Angela Levin often speaks about a version of Prince Harry she says was focused on future goals, public service, and making a meaningful impact. Having spent considerable time with him during that period, she frequently contrasts those memories with the person she believes the public sees today.
That's it. She is slightly frightened of Catherine because she's doing so many good things. But she's got to be very careful, and they don't really want to risk that. I think William is absolutely right. And if that's right, you stand by them non-stop, and you don't want someone who's really hideous, really rude, trying to destroy the royal family as well as the people in it.
Over the years, her comments have become increasingly direct, reflecting what many observers view as growing frustration with the path she thinks his life has taken. As Levin put it, "Look at his face and he can't do it because he still loves her," or, whatever his reason is. Statements like that have attracted attention because they come from someone who once spoke about Harry in far more positive terms. For supporters of Levin's viewpoint, her willingness to speak so openly suggests she believes the situation is more serious than public appearances might indicate. Others, however, argue that such conclusions are ultimately matters of personal interpretation rather than established fact. While much of the recent attention has focused on Lilibet, her photographs, and the discussion surrounding her birthday images, some commentators have shifted their focus to Archie and his noticeably lower profile in public content. Archie Harrison Mountbatten Windsor was the couple's first child and, at the time of his birth, was widely viewed as a major milestone in Harry and Meghan's public story. His arrival received enormous media attention and became closely tied to discussions about the family's future and their desire for a different life outside traditional royal expectations. Critics now point out that Archie appears less frequently in the limited family content shared publicly. They argue that much of the recent attention has centered on Lilibet, leading to questions about why the public visibility of the two children appears different. Supporters counter that parents are under no obligation to present their children equally in public-facing content and may make different decisions based on age, personality, or other private considerations. Even so, the contrast has become another topic of debate. For critics, it raises fresh questions about the family's approach to privacy and public presentation. For supporters, it simply reflects a family, choosing how much of its personal life to share with the world. That brings us to the end of today's discussion. From the ongoing debate surrounding the photographs to the questions being raised by commentators like Angela Levin, this story continues to spark strong opinions and intense public interest.
Catherine, you can see, has helped Meghan make her husband, William, so much better. He knows what it's like being a father. He knows what it's like being a husband. He's learnt it. She's helped him. So you need, if you want a partner, to find someone who's going to help you in your life, not someone who's going to be negative and moan. She moans everything all the time.
Whether you agree with the criticism, support the Sussexes' approach, or fall somewhere in the middle, one thing is clear. People are paying close attention, and the conversation shows no signs of slowing down anytime soon. If today's video gave you something to think about, make sure to hit the like button. It helps more people discover the channel and join the discussion. If you haven't subscribed yet, now is the perfect time to do it. And don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss future updates and deep dives into the biggest stories. Be sure to share this video with friends, family, or anyone who might find the topic interesting. And most importantly, leave a comment below. What stood out to you the most? What do you think happens next for Harry, Meghan, and their family? We'd love to hear your thoughts. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.